If you want to look into my soul, go ahead. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Go ahead. Look into my soul. Or ask questions.
Why do you make films?
Yeah, that's a very tough one. Why? It's not something that I can summarize in one sentence. It's a thing. Of course, it started as a passion for films of other people as a child, and I guess I have something with movement in general, and film is basically about movement for me. And yeah, I studied animation film because I was always drawing as a kid, and I also took from early on lessons, and I was always encouraged to draw because apparently people thought I was pretty good at it. So, and I was always fascinated by film, and so I made the choice when I was 18 years old. I lived in Ghent, and there was an art school with a degree in animation, so I thought this would be the best solution for me, the combination of drawing and film. But yeah, through the years I made a lot of you go to a sort of a process, and I started to use live images too, because animation is a great medium, but it's a very slow process most of the time, even painstakingly slow. So that's the part that frustrates me, but it's a medium with a lot of potential. So I made a hybrid film, Candy Darling, hybrid in the sense of visual style, where I use live action with special effects. I combine blue screen, I add animations on top of it that are composed digitally. So my intention is for my next project I will work a little bit similar in the sense that I want to combine different media sources, but for instance, I'm not going to use 3D animation. No 3D characters, which I had in my film. My previous one, yeah. So the visual style is going to be different, but again, it's going to be a mixture of several sources, like live action with some drawn animations. Well, it's a film that is less scripted than Candy Darling was, in the sense that I use a concept, a quite broad concept, actually the output of that film is still open, because I let the film happen by day to day, which doesn't mean that I'm working randomly. It's just I follow a certain concept. It's about 3 women who existed, and I developed together with the woman who performs in the film. She improvises on my guidelines, and I improvise further on what she comes up with, or things that comes up spontaneously during the rehearsals. So I think that's interesting, because it prevents you from working too much on pre-existing models or cliches or patterns that you are living with. So it's a more free approach than Candy Darling, because Candy Darling was completely storyboarded, so it was visually scripted before, and I followed quite truthfully my storyboard. But sometimes I got frustrated because everything in a way is already planned, and I like to improvise, which has a certain risk, maybe even a big one, but I think it's also exciting to work like that.
When you finished Candy Darling?
Well, because I had problems to finish the film, because I didn't have enough money to work on it on a very comfortable way. So I did a lot of it myself. So it was a relief, but at the same time it was a bit an abstract feeling, because I was already living so long with the film that even when it was finished, it was like it was not really finished for me, because I already lived with it so long. But then, the best reward is once you get appreciation for your film and people get to see it, then the film really starts to exist as for you as a filmmaker, because before it's a process of searching and trial and error, and a great deal of the process was finding solutions that were manageable on the level of technique and finances and time. So it was a lot of puzzling between all those criteria. But it was a long movie also, with a lot of special effects. It was 26 minutes, so when you use so many effects, it implies a lot of labor.